Hello to all. Today we'll learn about two tools of PRA: Transect Walk and Resource Mapping. Participatory rural appraisal consists of a series of participatory exercises which help community members better assess their village, community, history, and resources. During the conduct of the PRAs, rural or urban communities in the selected areas will gather information on the resources they already possess, organize the knowledge, share experience among themselves, learn from each other, identify and prioritize local development needs, and develop action plans which respond to these needs. Transect Walk. Transect walks are a participatory exercise where members of the community, planners, and other municipality representatives walk through different areas of neighborhood, interviewing passers-by and drawing a map with observations of characteristics, risks, and existing solutions after the walk. These walks are typically applied in villages for health and sanitation planning, but are increasingly used in urban settings. They are particularly useful for urban planners who come into a community for the first time because they will not only show you a transect of the neighborhood but also establish immediate contact between you and neighbors. You will quickly get to the bottom of the topics that move the community. What to say and to discuss during a transect walk. When you invite someone for a transect, make sure that before you conduct a transect, you tell the participants the purpose of the research. Watch out for raising false expectations, and the participants will decide for you what is the most interesting to see around. You may want to discuss these questions: where to start, where to end, what to see, at what time to start, and how long will it take? Kindly note, the transect walk depends on the purpose of your research. For example, do you want to know what all social services are present? Or how many water taps are present and if they are working? Or what are the hazard prone areas? Key informants to invite: village elders, religious organization representatives, women representatives, vulnerable groups, village or city council members, and community representatives. Kindly note, when you walk around the area with a highly respected person, such as temple or a mosque or a church representative, it also creates more trust to watch the facilitator among the community members, which makes it easier to approach them. So be careful with whom you approach for the transact. During Transect, keep a list of all your observations or take pictures. An advantage of a Transect is that during the walk, you can ask questions about what you see at that particular moment, can discuss some of the challenges and the possible solutions to seek at a smaller level. So, topics that people might not feel worth mentioning during a traditional interview may be discussed during a Transect walk. Finally, a transect walk is not intended to immediately gain deep insight knowledge about the challenges of the area. This is just to gain first impressions of a community at focus. Keep the deeper context for a next one-to-one interview. What to do with the results of the transect walk? Transect walk could serve to choose the final subject of your research, or if you have collected enough data and it is structurized, you can use it for analysis. Resource mapping. Resource mapping will help in understanding the resource distribution, use, and access of the village or urban slum and help get information on things like dispensaries, ration shops, hospitals, anganwadis, natural resources, agricultural land, forest, pasture, pond, tube well, water bodies, storage structure, and other such things. The main objective of resource mapping is to understand the community's natural and artificial resources available and access. How to facilitate the process of resource mapping. First, we'll find a large open place to work. Then, we'll start by placing a rock or a leaf to represent a central and important landmark. We will ask the participants to draw the boundaries of the village. Ask the participants to draw other things on the map that are important. Don't interrupt the participants unless they stop drawing. Once they stop, you can ask whether there is anything else of importance that should be added. When the map is completed, facilitators should ask the participants to describe it. Ask questions about anything that is unclear. Use the key questions to guide a discussion about resources in the village or community. One or more facilitators should ask the questions, another should take notes on what is said. Be sure to draw a picture of the map on a piece of paper. Be sure that the final map includes direction indicators. Key questions of resource mapping. What are the major resources in the village or slum community and how many? In which year was it established? Who is the owner of the resources? What are uses of the resources? How are the resources managed? Who benefits from these resources and who does not? Why or why not? Are there any resources that existed earlier which are not present today? What was the reason for their closure? What is the soil type that is there in the village and how is it distributed? What resources are abundant or scarce? Which resources have the most problems or are harmful to the village and why or why not?